Good morning, everyone. My name is Cynthia Bergula, and my partner in this topic is Miss Flordeliza Caysido. And today we are going to discuss or tackle to you our assigned topic, which is the Chapter 13 Rizal's Visit in United States, 1888. April 28, 1888, Rizal arrived and first saw America. His arrival in this great country was marred by racial prejudice. Racial prejudice, it may also mean discrimination or antagonism directed against other people because they are of a different or various race or ethnicity. He saw the discriminatory treatment of the Chinese and Negros by the white Americans. So, Chinese and Negros suffered or experienced a lot of discrimination from the hands of American people. So, I feel pity to these innocent people for them to experience this kind of unpleasant treatment. April 28, 1888, Saturday, that steamer Belgic docked at San Francisco. Steamer Belgic is a type of ship that on boards or passengers are 643 Chinese coolies and Negros, and Rizal is also included in the ship. Unfortunately, American health authorities did not let the passengers to land for 1 week because of the rumored cholera epidemic. But Rizal knew there was no cholera epidemic that time, so he used his wisdom or intelligence to encourage these people on board in the ship to protest the unjustifiable actions of American authorities. He soon discovered or found out that it was motivated by politics and the ship was carrying 643 Chinese coolies. May 4, 1888, the day he was permitted to go ashore and registered at the Palace Hotel, which was then considered a first-class hotel in the city. So, this Palace Hotel is considered a first class, which means that it is expensive and luxurious hotel, and only rich or wealthy people can afford this kind of hotel. So this means that Rizal is a wealthy man because he can afford this kind of hotel. May 4 to 6, 1888, Rizal stayed in San Francisco. So, Rizal's journey in visiting United States, wherein he discovered or found out that United States does not have equality and racial prejudice is very evident. This kind of unpleasant behavior or act is still present in reality in different countries. An example of country that shows discrimination is United States because Negro people struggle in finding a job because mostly Americans only accept those white people, and these Negro people do not have privilege to earn a job because of their race or ethnicity, so it is their burden. And another example that the country shows racial prejudice is the Korea. We are familiar with the movie Squid Game, which it is originated in Korea. And most of us already watched this movie, and in the movie there is a Filipino character who shared his experience in Korea, and his name is Christian Lagahit, and I think he is from Leyte that work in Korea. And he said that he is inside in a bus and there is a woman who throws a cabbage into his face, and this woman said something awful to him, and in that situation no one did ever help him, and that is an example of racial prejudice.
Good morning. So today I'm going to continue talking about Rizal's visits to the United States. So now I will discuss Rizal's journey across the American continent. On May 6, 1888, at 4:30 p.m., Rizal boarded a ferry boat from San Francisco to Oakland, 9 miles across San Francisco Bay. He boarded the train in Oakland for his journey across the continent. He ate his supper at Sacramento for 75 cents and slept in his couch. Early the next morning, it was May 7, 1888, Rizal awoke to a nice breakfast in Reno, Nevada, now known as the biggest little city in the world. So, here is a short summary of the results of Rizal's trip in America. From May 7 to May 13, Rizal wrote in his diary about wonderful recollections from Nevada, Chicago, and Albany. So he had his first stop by a ferry boat in Oakland, then in Sacramento where he ate his supper for 75 cents and slept on his couch, and in Reno, Nevada where he had his breakfast. So there are places Rizal visited, and he took notes and gave some description of each location. Like in Utah, where he saw Mormons thickly populated. In Colorado is a place with a lot of snow and pine trees, according to Rizal. He also visited Nebraska, where he observed the Omaha River, which is double the size of the Pasig. And it was in Albany that he saw the Hudson River for the first time. So in May 13, 1888, Rizal arrived in New York on a Sunday morning, bringing his journey across the American continent to a close. He stayed in this city, which he called the Big Town, for 3 days and visits the scenic and historical sites in the area. And he was also inspired by George Washington's memorial. He believed that George Washington was a great American, and he wrote a letter to Mariani Ponce that this man, Washington, is a great man that has no parallel to this country. So next day, Rizal sailed from New York to Liverpool on the city of Rome on May 16, 1888. So according to Jose Rizal, the city of Rome was the world's second largest ship at the time, with the Great Eastern being the largest. Rizal saw the Statue of Liberty on Bedloe Island. So here are some Rizal's impressions of America. Rizal had both positive and negative impressions. So let's start with the positive one. So the country materials progress as evidenced by great cities, vast farms, thriving industries, and busy factories. As we all know that America is a prosperous country. Second, the American people drives and energy. Third, the land's natural beauty. People would enjoy the magnificent scenery that America has to offer. Fourth, the high standard of living. And fifth, the opportunities for better life offered to poor immigrants. So the negative impression of Rizal was the lack of racial equality in America. True civic liberty does not exist since a black cannot marry an American and an American cannot marry a Negro. Next, there is racial prejudice as evidenced by their hate of Chinese, Japanese, and African Americans, as well as their preference for money over human life. They value money more than human life. So, in the year 1890, Jose Alejandro, who was studying engineering in Belgium at that time, roomed with Rizal on the third day. Alejandro had never been to America, so he asked Rizal what his impressions or feelings were here in America. Rizal said that America is the home of freedom per excellence, but only for white people. So it means America is wonderful, but only for white American. Other than that, they don't value others. So that's it. That's all. Thank you. Thank you for listening. I hope you learned something from my report. I am Flordeliza Caysido, together with Miss Cynthia May Bergula, as we previously discussed Rizal's visit to the United States. Have a wonderful day and may God bless you. Thank you.